What's up, everybody? It's your boy. As a creative person who has interest in writing and is trying to write a novel, the worst information I think I've ever learned was that Christopher Paolini, the author of Aragon, which if you're unfamiliar is a great young adult fantasy novel about dragons and stuff, one that I really liked growing up and which I recently read again and enjoyed even as an adult, was 19 years old when the book was published, which means he was probably in high school when he wrote it. And that's just horrible. That's like when you think you're good at a video game, so you look up the high score and it's inevitably a score set by some Korean toddler that's so high it doesn't even make sense as to how it's possible in the game. Anyway, I just hate that and wanted to share. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. Today's video is about maturity, hypocrisy, and cognitive dissonance. If you end up liking this video and you don't want to miss any future uploads, or if you want to help me afford original Pokemon cartridges for my son's upcoming 4th birthday when I'm going to give him his first video game console and let him complete the rite of passage of playing video games on the impossibly dim screen of a Game Boy Color, the best way to do that is to click the subscribe button or even click the join button to support the channel directly. I love you. May the wind always be at your back. All right, let's get into it. One weekend in the spring, every year, 11 of my closest friends all spend 2 nights at my house. We wake up early on Saturday and we spend the entire day and then do so again on Sunday, playing through my collection of GameCube games, competing for victory in what we call the Steve Harvey Retro Gaming Olympics, or Shogos for short. I make t-shirts, we have a trophy of a king for first place and a bronze trophy of a certain explicit shape and size for last place. We record an album of improvised songs to accompany a recap movie which we make for each year, and we have a bunch of other traditions, such as doodling all over the back of the scoreboard each year, making the most heinous and inappropriate art piece in human history, or the 2-hour mandatory touch grass hour on Saturday where we go outside and lie in the grass, or I break my nose playing Ultimate Frisbee like I did in 2022, or the mandatory Friday Walmart trip where we all go to Walmart in the matching t-shirts with Steve Harvey on them, looking like idiots to buy candy and beer and garbage that we eat all weekend. Over the course of the weekend, we literally giggle and play video games for over 20 hours total in matching shirts, 12 guys, 2 GameCubes, 8 years of the great Shogo tradition. I am 29 years old, I am in a serious relationship, I have a 3-year-old child, I am a homeowner. When people at work ask me why I'm walking with such a pep in my step in the week leading up to this event, and I tell them about the Shogos, I invariably get one of 2 reactions. Either something like, man, that's so cool, I wish I did something like that with my friends, that's so fun. Or I get, oh, okay, cool. This video is about that second reaction, which I've been getting in different forms, different ways, my entire life. At every age, there exists a societal pressure to graduate from fun activities you like doing onto the next allegedly age-appropriate activity, leaving behind something you like because that's for babies, and then for elementary school, and then for kids, and then because your back hurts and you can't do it anymore. There is a mad dash to grow up, and growing up means, for many people, sacrifice in exchange for grown-up stuff. And for me, all throughout my life, I have been told to grow up. I was a really good reader for my age as a kid, and starting in literally 1st grade, while all of my classmates read To Give a Mouse a Cookie or Rainbow Fish or whatever, I got pulled aside and rewarded by having to read Magic Treehouse chapter books because I had tested too advanced for these silly kids books. And that sucked ass because I wanted to read about the mouse and the cookie because I was 6 years old. When I was in 5th grade and I cried after losing the school spelling bee for the 2nd time in a row to the same girl, I will forever hate you, Annie Young, I got told to grow up and to handle it with maturity because it was just a spelling bee and I was too old to take something silly like that so seriously. In 7th grade, Miss McBee told me that I needed to grow up and stop drawing in class, that I was too smart to waste my time drawing and decorating bubble letter scripts of my favorite bands. I still have one of them. It's just a picture of Fall Out Boy in all caps with skateboarders doing kick flips off of the letters. It's sick. In high school, my first real girlfriend, Nicole with an H after the C, broke up with me because I was too immature. I got made fun of because I made little skit videos that I put on YouTube until I was 15, which you cannot find. They have been privatized. I promise you, they do not exist anymore. And at 17, when my second serious girlfriend ever moved to Michigan to go to Interlochen, which is a prestigious art boarding school that she promised me she would never get into when her parents, quote, made her apply, and I cried and rode my bike in the rain across town to see her on the night before she left, my dad told me to grow up and realize that a high school relationship isn't that serious. I got fired from my first job at a chicken finger place called Guthrie's for being too silly when I was writing fun little messages on ketchup packets in the drive-thru. I got in trouble my first year teaching for going to play with the kids at PE during my planning period. I got told the following year that it was unprofessional to wear a sweatshirt with Bluey on the front of it, which I'm wearing right now. And now, when I tell people about the Shogos, I get the awkward nod and the judgment. And what do all these things have in common? They're either creative interests or emotional responses. These are the things we expect people to grow out of. All throughout our lives, we are implicitly taught to equate creativity and emotion with immaturity, that when you grow up, you leave those things behind. And I'm gonna make this sort of abstract or philosophical argument in this video as to why that's absurd and why this is hypocritical and insane and stupid. But there is also a physiological case to be made for this about how having fun, how being silly, how playing is cognitively important and how it can even be a medical intervention. I made a video that discusses that, which you can watch here, on this side. Here, it's mirrored, my camera's mirrored, this side, over here, right here. But in this video, we're gonna discuss why this is just the wrong perspective, philosophically speaking. So first, to do so, let's establish what's important in life. I don't quite have enough time to solve and explain the meaning of life in this video, but there are a few general things that we can agree on as being important. And to me, the easiest way to understand what is important in a life is to imagine being on your deathbed. This isn't a new idea by any means, but if you think about it, lying on your deathbed, looking back on the life that you've lived, what do you hope to look back on? Those surely must be the most important things in life, right? And those things are, for most people, health, as we all imagine ourselves dying in old age and we need to be healthy to get there in the first place, and financial security. I firmly disagree with wealth being vital for happiness, but a baseline financial security is pretty universally important in a modern society. But other than those two things, everyone can probably agree the things most important are the normal cliche thoughts about this stuff. Time spent with the people that you love, having some sort of legacy, be it in the form of your story living on, or having a big family you get to leave behind, feeling self-actualized or like you met your potential, and then maybe making a difference in the world or making a mark in some way. Those are the things that are going to be important to us when we die. Not how hard we worked at work, or how seriously we took ourselves, but that we spent our lives doing things we loved with the people we loved. And I'm sure you can probably see where I'm going with this, but if that's the case, what could possibly be more important than creative endeavor and emotional response? What could be a more strategically valuable use of our limited time here on Earth than working as hard as we possibly can to create as much time as possible to do fun things and love on our friends and families? In that context, what could possibly be more mature and more adult than the Shogos? Because I am an adult, because I am financially responsible and worked hard and had the foresight to plan ahead, to organize and to follow through, to coordinate and delegate responsibilities, I was able to amass a collection of something that I love, GameCube games, which are expensive, and I'm able to year after year put together a precariously scheduled event bringing together 11 functional adults from all over the country to spend 2 days being immature. And with complete sincerity, there is nothing I do that is more important to me than the Shogos. 7 of the 11 of my friends that attend every year no longer live in the same state as me. One comes from over 1,900 miles away. And for most of these guys, my closest friends, the people outside my family who I love more than anyone in the world, it's the only time I ever see them in person. And for 3 days every year, we get to spend every second doing something more important than anything. It's not about playing video games, it's about goofing around. It's about the creative outlet in making the album and the movie and the t-shirts. It's about spending time with my people, being part of a little community again, getting the vital reminder that our lives are hilariously short, and to spend them doing anything but playing should be only a required effort to make whatever your version of the Shogos is possible. Also, society may pretend to believe that being silly, having fun, being creative, these things are immature and unimportant, but we actually don't. We know and actively praise these behaviors. We just don't recognize what we're doing. For example, the thing in the world I am most proud of about myself is being a good father. One of the few compliments I can readily accept and very sweetly receive pretty often is that I'm a good dad. And every time I get this compliment, it's because I'm at the playground with my son and we're talking face to face and I've got dirt on my knees because we're playing pirates at the park, or because he and I are laughing at each other's jokes and super obviously enjoying our time together. I'm present in the moment and not on my phone in the corner while he plays by himself. It's because I'm being immature with him. It's because I'm willing to play, and because it's obvious, it is tangible when you look at the two of us that we love each other. Not just, oh, he's my son, and of course I love you, son, but that we are each other's favorite person in the world, despite how often I've been told to. I've never repressed my emotional reactions. My son knows his dad feels stuff. And through that, he is learning to handle his own emotions effectively, how to direct that energy toward positive results and personal growth. Refusing to grow up is being a good parent. Our world doesn't actually look down upon that colloquial immaturity. because there's some moral imperative to be uptight and professional and dry. It's a snake that's eating itself. It's a cycle of misery. Miserable adults who hate their lives and are chemically unbalanced because they spend 8 hours a day on a screen and the other 8 they're awake looking at a smaller screen in their hand, who then have unfulfilling relationships that make them miserable and lives that are unstimulating, and who have fried their brains with self-imposed dopamine fatigue, demonize play and silliness as a defense mechanism. Society has evolved in this way, and we now have all these corny-ass Puritan upright citizen facets of our culture because generations of adults have grown increasingly miserable as they're taught to stop having fun and enjoying themselves, that the goal is to learn to be miserable. So when they achieve that goal and they see someone their own age having fun, being silly, doing something self-indulgent and creative and goofy, they have to demonize it, because if they don't, they'd be admitting to themselves that they've wasted their entire lives in the pursuit of a white picket fence surrounding a yard they'd never stand in, a financially competent, hardworking, boring-ass spouse that they'll never talk to, and a few well-behaved children they'll never connect with. The natural evolutionary method of dealing with cognitive dissonance like that, the way of coping with noticing difference and having to reckon with the ways that you yourself are different, biologically, anthropologically speaking, is to become further ingrained in your own way of doing things, your own tribe, your own community. This is the evolutionary foundation upon which racism and xenophobia and general exclusivity have been built. We have to be aware of these potential pitfalls in our brain's hardware so that we can avoid these dominoes falling the way that they do. The only reason we have these weird, backward, judgy views about what is and isn't immature and how immaturity relates to playing and having fun and being silly, and not what it actually means, which should be related to being irresponsible and untrustworthy and stuff, is because our society has been shaped by a bunch of people who hate their lives. Like, it is so puzzlingly stupid and insane that we continue trudging forward with these antiquated views, among others, when we know that they're antiquated ideas. It's almost like they came from a really old book that was written by tens of anonymous authors for the purpose of maintaining control over an increasingly educated and difficult populace, presented as a coherent and linear collection of writings from a few certain trustworthy authors instead, one of whom who wrote some of the most important and transformative aspects of the book, which would go on to become the entire basis of the religion established in this hypothetical book, having lived over 50 years after the main character and never meeting him, and actually being in his lifetime told to stop writing that stuff by the actual disciples of that main character. I am 29 years old. My birthday was less than a month ago. The Thursday before the Friday, all of my friends came to my house for the Shogos weekend. And I got to spend my birthday not discussing my accomplishments or in denial of getting older or at a stuffy restaurant drinking expensive wine and discussing the stock market. I got to spend my birthday with my people, being what is, in my opinion, the most productive a person can be. We played video games, we giggled, we drank cheap wine because I'm a school teacher, we played outside, my friend almost got mistakenly arrested, but that's a story for another time, and we didn't celebrate me and we celebrated each other, we celebrated life, and we had fun. Every year, we begin planning for this event months in advance. We put in PTO requests at our big boy jobs. We all tell our partners and families the dates we will be unavailable with enough notice for them to get over it by the time it actually rolls around. And the workdays draw on longer and longer as the anticipation builds when the date nears closer and closer. And year after year, it exceeds expectations. It just gets better every time. More important to our friend group, more fulfilling and unironic and self-indulgent. And there is truly no event more beautiful and important to me than this small act of resistance and defiance, this giant middle finger of a weekend where I tell everyone who ever told me to grow up, everyone who ever misunderstood my apparent immaturity for an accident without realizing that they were the one missing something, that I refuse to grow up if that's what growing up is. We refuse to grow up. This year, in the 8th annual Shogos, my friend Cole won for the first time, becoming only the second person with a last name different than me and my little brother, both of us having won 3 of the 8, to win. And I'm gonna let you guys share that joy in this video of the exact moment that Cole realizes he has won. That's great for Cole.
Who's Cole? Pikachu?
Cole's always Pikachu, yeah.
Okay. Oh, what the hell is Ty doing?
What are you doing?
Dude, this
Oh
is
God.
Cole.
This is Cole's game.
This is Cole's year.
Sure,
I mean, dude, it couldn't be more
We gave you the
foretold.
star.
The prophecy more
Again!
Oh my
What?
Oh
my
Yeah,
god.
can't go solely for Pikachu.
Yeah, don't move.
No, do not do that,
Do it again,
Cam.
do it again, do it again. Cole, bring it home. Bring it home, Cole, bring it home.
Freaking power, baby.
I'm going first. Yeah. I
Camden,
told
you're
you I was
doing
going
a
for
great
first,
job, too.
boys. I wasn't running. Let's go.
Jesus.
Come on.
Adam Cole.
Kill him. This is
Oh.
Oh, that was a hell of a Good shit.
Don't grow up, not in the way that they want you to. Grow up in the way that matters. Find your Shogos. There is nothing more important. Thank you for watching. See y'all next time.